Hey there, EV jerks. Welcome to Lanky's cat channel. My cat is right down there, I swear to God. If at any time during this you're interested in ordering a Tesla Model Y, please consider using my referral link in the description box. I'll also put it in the comment section. I would greatly appreciate that. I had to record a lot of this at the storage unit because in my area, the HOA, they're not playing. So you're curious about maybe getting a Tesla Model Y. I just want to share my experience with it. I have 15,000 miles on it, and hopefully this will help you make a decision whether it's the right vehicle to buy for you. Let me start this off with a little bit of background. My friend Brian owns a Tesla. He actually has two of them now, as well as a Rivian. I wasn't like a Tesla fanboy. I always thought they were kind of interesting. I was always intrigued by electric cars because I really don't like going to gas stations. In my area, they're kind of seedy. You get hit up all the time. They're not places you want to hang out at all for any stretch of time. Now, Brian is such a big fan of Tesla that he got me pretty excited about it. Then I had some other friends get Teslas. They were also very excited about it. With the exception of Brian, none of them were really what I would consider to be fanboys of it. So I started looking into it more, did a test drive, loved it, ordered one. It was going to be like a year before I got it. I also had an order for an ID4 Volkswagen. I took that because it came up first. After having that for 9 months, I decided I was going to get rid of it, get the Model Y. And here's where we start. So I have tons of pros, I have tons of cons, but first I want to talk about some of the cons of other people. So this is off of one of my other videos. They were saying, why does everyone get so hypey about the Model Y? Why do I think it's so good? I think it sucks. Because it doesn't have these things. These are going to be, I'm going to be like a little bit of an apologist for a lot of these. So one, no rear wiper. I personally think this is a good thing. I've never used my rear wiper. It always just kind of hangs there collecting dirt, getting grimy. Every now and then I accidentally turn it on and it smears all kinds of crap everywhere. I don't like it. When I get car washes, it seems to be where all the soap accumulates and drips off after the fact. I think it's a plus that the Model Y does not have it. Another gripe is that there's no sunshade. This might be a big deal. I live in kind of central Northern California near Sacramento. It gets really hot here during the summer. It can get 105, it's been up to 113 for 2, 3, 4 weeks straight at times. The only time it really bothers me is when I've been out in the sun all day, like at one of my son's baseball tournaments where I coach, so I'm out on the field the entire time. By the drive home, I just want to be out of the sun. So yeah, I could use a sunshade then. Other than that, it really has not been an issue for me. Take that or leave it as you may. Another gripe is no blind spot monitoring or 360 bird's eye view. Agree to disagree at this point. Yes, there's no 360 bird's eye view. I'll get to the other part in a second. Poor navigation is another gripe. Though I would agree, it does not exactly route you on the best route. I think the Tesla navigation has some pros above all others. And I'm gonna get to that in just a minute. Harsh ride and loud is another complaint I hear a lot of. I haven't found that to be true. Terrible wipers and no wiper stock is another complaint. I would actually agree with it. I mean, the wipers themselves are perfectly fine, but the wiper stock that you can't adjust it to just the right speed, the automatic wipers always seems to be way too fast. And then if you set it for manual, you have to push it on the side, hit a button to alter the speed. That is definitely annoying. Thankfully, in California, where I live, it doesn't rain a ton, so that has not been a huge issue. Another gripe I hear is that you can't talk to service. I mean, really, when I've taken any other car to service and I call them, they always screw up what I said anyway. So, I mean, kind of a push there. And last thing that's a con I hear from other people is bad paint. The paint might be bad. I don't know. What I did is put some PPF film. And the reason for that is I did a DIY kit. I did another video on it. Every other car I've ever had gets dinged up in the parking lot anyway. So, I mean, if those are good paint, they're still getting scratched. So I put a PPF kit on my car. I haven't had a scratch yet, haven't had any paint rip off yet. I will tell you though, there was a spot that I scratched up. Tesla paint buffs out very easily. So if it's soft, good on them because it buffs like a champ. The complaint of a lack of blind spot monitoring in the Model Y is actually crazy to me. Because one, if you turn on your turn signal, it'll actually show the camera of what is in your blind spot. So you don't have to look, you don't get that little yellow light in your side mirror. Instead, you get a full-on video image of it. But besides that, you actually have a representation of every car that's in the area. So whether they're behind you, to the side of you, or in front of you, even while you're driving, it shows this in real time. So you have, though it's not a 360 view, which doesn't help for parking, you do have the use of the cameras when backing up, and you also have the use of, it shows the fake cars driving around in relation to your car. So you see where everything is. And one last negative I hear from a lot of people is, God, they're everywhere. Everyone has a Model Y. They're all over the place. They're not unique. I personally think this is ridiculous. When I go to In-N-Out Burger or name your favorite hamburger or restaurant, and you see other people eating hamburgers, it doesn't make you not want to eat a hamburger because everyone else is eating a hamburger. It's still delicious. It makes no sense to me. That argument's crazy. If you have a great product, buy the great product. It's a fantastic experience, in my opinion. All right, I'm gonna get into my personal pros and cons. I'm gonna tell you, I love the car. It is like the best car I've ever had. It's really the only new car I've ever had other than the ID4. I think it's a screaming deal right now. Last time I checked, it's basically $49,000, not including the tax incentive. You get $7,500 off as of right now. 6 months of free charging. Now I'm gonna do my list of pros and cons. And I'm gonna start with the cons first. When I ordered, I did use my friend Brian's referral code, and it happened to be like 3 days right before they ended the referral program. So I ordered it using his code. When I took delivery, I was like, hey, why don't I ordered this using a referral link, and they said, yeah, you know, but we ended that. I said, yeah, but you ended that after. And they're like, yeah, well, we ended it. So they didn't honor the referral code that was used. So my friend didn't get a benefit. I didn't get a benefit. That just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Also on delivery, they didn't exactly do the white glove service. I had white interiors. There were greasy black handprints on the roof as well as on the seat. I just thought that was very tacky. Yes, I still took delivery. Shame on me. Whatever. The other thing that was super irritating is that the B pillar on the car was actually not assembled right. It was kind of hanging off. I did have to call service. The guy said, yeah, they do that all the time. Popped it back into place, no problem. But that's something that really needs to be like right out of the factory. Another thing that's kind of a gripe, I'm a big guy, I'm 6'3", 220 pounds. The outside of the driver's seat where I get out all the time is starting to show a little bit of wear after more than a year, after 15,000 miles. I noticed in my ID4, which only had 9,000 miles, didn't show any wear at all. The rear seats where the seatbelts fall, it kind of like leaves a little black mark, a little scuff on the outside of that. I've seen third-party things where it holds it up off the seat. I found a way where I can just take the seatbelt and tuck it over the inside part of the headrest. That resolves the issue. But again, just a little minor detail that's kind of annoying. And last thing to me that's a con, and maybe it's not a con, my phone doesn't charge wirelessly. Now my previous phone did charge wirelessly. It used to get really hot, and I actually wonder if that's why the battery fried out quicker. So this may not be a bad thing because you can just plug it in just like I always did, but you'd still like it to work just in case. All right, now I'm gonna go on to the pros. The number one thing I think is great, this is specifically for electric vehicles, is the charging network. This ties into the navigation. I'll get to that in just a second. With the ID4, I had free charging for 1 year, for 3 years with Electrify America. So I use Electrify America a lot. It sucks. In hindsight, I thought it was kind of good. I realize now that I have Tesla superchargers, how badly it actually sucked. Tesla superchargers are easy. You just plug it in, just like at home, and it just rips, goes right away. EA, you have to take it out, you have to pay, you have to plug it in. Sometimes you have to wiggle it around, sometimes you have to pull it out, plug it back in. I actually used it for a long time with my Tesla, even though I knew I wasn't supposed to, because what am I gonna do? Like, I already sold my ID4. Who cares if I lose it, which is exactly what happened, but it's really terrible. When I started using Tesla superchargers, it's like, mwah, it is so great, it's so easy. Okay, now back to the navigation. The navigation on it, there's times where the Tesla navigation is so incredibly stupid. You'll be like in a parking lot and you'll say like, I want to go this way, and it'll take you and route you out this way, up around the street, around the corner or whatever. And then you just look to the left and you're like, yeah, I could just go like left and left, like right there. It's like super easy. So sometimes it doesn't get like the local knowledge things or just like the obvious of what's right in front of you. And though it doesn't have like avoid highway, if that's something you're into, I've never actually done that. It does have other things like avoid HOV or take HOV, toll roads, things like that. But back to the navigation, the thing that is best about it is if I were to say, set a trip to go to
Gonzaga University.
Obviously the best university on the planet. It's gonna find every stop along the way. It's gonna map it out of every supercharger I need to stop at. And it's actually extremely accurate as far as what your battery is gonna be at once you arrive there to start charging. It even tells you how long you need to stay. Fantastic. And I found that superchargers are always in great locations with plenty of places to rest, buy food. Unlike Electrify America, they're always outside of a Walmart where it looks like the carnival just came to town and people want to hurt you. Okay, enough about that. Another huge thing that is absolutely phenomenal is the app. I know that sounds stupid, but the app is great. With the app, you can heat your car before you get in, cool your car before you get in, unlock it, pop the frunk, pop the trunk. You can remotely view the cameras with Sentry Mode. You have Sentry Mode to just kind of keep lookout over your car. You have a tire pressure monitoring system you can check. And one thing that I think is really good is location. So if you've ever parked at an airport and you're like, where did I put my car again? You can find it on the location. It makes it so easy to find your car. Okay, enough about that. Now I mentioned, I think the ride is actually very quiet. You don't have the hum of the engine, which kind of drowns other things out. So you purely hear everything. I think it's very quiet. The ride is definitely stiff. I personally prefer that stiff kind of sports car ride, so I really like it. And from what I understand, it is an improvement over past the initial Model Ys that first came out. The built-in entertainment system is actually really good. Now, if you have an iPad, you can just like use a hotspot on your phone and play stuff on your iPad, but you do have the sound system in the Tesla, so I can watch Netflix, I can watch Hulu, I can watch things like YouTube. If you've never checked out the Linky Lefty 27 on YouTube, oh my God, phenomenal. But it's actually very smart. One time I was looking at Hulu, I wanted to watch a Gonzaga basketball game and it wouldn't let me. And I couldn't figure out why until I checked back again and I saw that it's because I was trying to watch a women's game and it saved me from that. Go ahead and cancel me over that. Another massive pro, in my opinion, is the performance. It performs like a sports car. It's insanely fast. I love driving it. I never used to really like to drive. I love driving the Tesla. I actually look forward to it. One pedal driving will change your world. It is fantastic. I love everything about it. Not having to brake. I rarely use my brakes. It's great. Storage in the Model Y is unbelievably huge. We have, like I mentioned before, we have a Toyota Highlander. It's big. I think we can actually get more in the Model Y. You have the back area. If you need to, you can fold down the seats and get even more space. You have a huge compartment in the back underneath the floorboards. You have another smaller one just up in front of that. Then you have the frunk that is sizable. I can put belongings in there like my AXG Sleep Diagnostics home sleep tests up there. If I don't want them in the cabin, I can really tuck them out of view up in the frunk. It is great. That's all I've got. Now, if you're interested in getting a Tesla Model Y or any Tesla for that matter, you take delivery before December 31st. You get the federal tax credit of $7,500. You also get free supercharging for 6 months. Whether you use it or not, I don't know, but it is a nice perk to have. And those are my thoughts on the Tesla Model Y. Whether you like it or not, I appreciate you watching. If you do decide to get it, please consider using my referral link. I'll leave it in the description box as well as in the comment section. And with that, thank you so much for watching. Bye.
I don't have an outro, so how about this?